What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and for so many people in the entertainment industry, whether that be movies, whether that be TV, or even whether it be the comic book industry, they are so deep within the far left echo chamber that they cannot comprehend reality. They can't even understand when they say some things that the vast majority of people will look at and be like, wow, what an incredibly bad, disgusting take you have right there. Because they have surrounded themselves with other people who only think exactly the same way that they do. And in the case of Marvel Comics and Marvel Entertainment in general, that seems like that's primarily who they hire. People like that. Activists who cannot handle anything other than the far left narrative. Now, when it comes to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, if you want to hear more about that, I've been covering it over on Patriot Outpost, my political channel. Don't want to get too deep into that right here, right now, but it's a massive event that's going on in this country, and you can truly see the effect that the mainstream media has had on people, because what the mainstream media is reporting is not what's happening if you're actually watching the trial for yourself. If you're actually watching and seeing what's going on right now in our country in this courtroom. But the mainstream media and blue check marks like Dylan Park would like to have you believe something else entirely is going on. There you can see. We're going to talk about this tweet. You saw it in the thumbnail. We're going to talk about it here as well. One of the things that State Prosecutor Thomas Binger used in his argument against Kyle Rittenhouse was the idea of provocation. But one commenter who works with Disney's Marvel Comics didn't get the memo when he openly called for people to burn down the city of Kenosha, Wisconsin. It was last Friday that Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers approved 500 of the state's National Guard troops for deployment. They'll be on standby as the world awaits the Rittenhouse trial verdict, and whatever reaction from the general public will follow. As of Monday evening, people on Twitter were recommending giving black people the day off at work to process the verdict in a situation where neither the defendant nor people Kyle Rittenhouse shot were people of color. If you're just learning this, yes, none of Kyle Rittenhouse's attackers were black. Not a single one of them. Although the mainstream media has maybe been presenting it as a slightly different thing. Nah, a lot of people are just finding that out right now. But when it comes to Marvel specifically, gauging by the reactions online in the comic book community, it's unclear what a day off from work would mean. Up-and-coming Marvel writer Dylan Park deleted the following tweet in his reaction thread about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Dylan Park right here. Quoting to say that they're sending National Guard people in. With a verdict near, Governor Tony Evers said that 500 National Guard members would be prepared for duty in Kenosha if local law enforcement requested them. Burn that MFer to the ground. Dylan Park, Marvel writer, is advocating that citizens burn the town of Kenosha to the ground. I assume he only means if Kyle Rittenhouse is found innocent, or is found not guilty. That's the only thing I could possibly imagine. But this is one of the things that is driving people away in droves from the comic book industry. This is why you're failing. Because you are hiring people like this. People who want to go on Twitter and talk all about people in red hats, make everything a political thing, make everything a race issue, and demonstrate over and over again that if there's anyone that has a problem with someone else's race, it's likely Dylan Park. It's likely the people that work for Marvel. Waking up to all the bald eagle avatar, red hat wearing incels who were crying in my mentions all night while I was getting that good sleep. Dylan Park, when someone responds to him, white people is crazy, says old boy's back home in the trailer park punching holes in his wall and screaming at his sister wife because he's mad about a tweet by somebody who doesn't even know he exists. This is what Dylan Park is saying in response to someone talking about how white people are crazy. He has this right here. What the fuck are you talking about? Your red hat on too tight. These people are obsessed with Trump, and they are obsessed with anything that is outside, again, of their left-wing echo chamber. And if you go and look at his entire Twitter profile, he's been talking about the Rittenhouse case just, a little bit here and there. It's clear this is someone who has no education on what's going on and is just looking at mainstream media clips of what's going on and then putting stuff out based on that. He's talking about the weapons charge that got dismissed. I put out a tweet. You can go check my Twitter that clearly shows that, no, that weapons charge was completely illegitimate. There was no evidence brought against it, and that is why it got dismissed. But he just can't handle it. He just can't handle it, and he continues spurging out at anyone who tries to call him out for his BS. He continues to try to make it all about racial issues, which there's nothing involving that in this trial. I'm not sure why he's so worked up over it. But these are the types of people that Marvel decides to hire over and over and over again. The death threats and harassment sent to Rittenhouse Judge Bruce Schroeder make assertions that the court official is a KKK member. A tweet by Mr. Park late last week about Schroeder suggested the same. If you were to visit the actual thread now, you can see that Dylan Park reacts to the closing statements. They mad, Park says under the deleted tweet, likely in reference to people's reaction to his threat to burn down the city of Kenosha. And it's over and over again. He made fun of somebody for deleting their tweet when he then deleted his tweet not too long after he was getting absolutely destroyed. And that's not uncommon for him. In fact, when you look here, he got ratioed to hell and back. Also got ratioed, or at least very close to it, right here, because he is wrong about the law. He is wrong about this case. But it's not the first time that he's been absolutely wrong about something. We've had run-ins with Dylan Park here on this channel before. 68 Whiskey writer and Marvel creator Dylan Park Pettiford calls Shang-Chi critics racist incels. And in fact, if we go down here, you can see, laughing at all the racist incels who are furious because Shang-Chi didn't flop, cope losers. And this is when I had a long, not a long conversation, but I would say a couple tweets back and forth with Dylan Park where I destroyed him despite his following, despite his blue check mark status. I absolutely destroyed him in interactions because he is wrong and cannot handle it. I said this, people sure are excited about the third worst opening weekend for an MCU film of all time, almost like we're in the exact same spot with Black Widow. And since then, we've seen what's happened with Shang-Chi. People want to herald it as a great success story when it essentially just barely broke even. It maybe made about 10 or 15 bucks. That's what we're looking at Shang-Chi. An embarrassment for the MCU, the fact that they're trying to get the media to call that a success. And of course, Dylan Park came back and he said, Shang-Chi hit 90 plus million in North America. Just say you don't know what you're talking about and stay mad, dork. And that, in the reply there, was here when I decided to talk to this dumbass bitch, when he talked about racist incels. I said you shared a graphic that shows Thursday through Sunday numbers that don't even include Black Widow and aren't adjusted for inflation, yet quoted a Thursday to Monday number for Shang-Chi. You're the one who clearly has no idea what you're talking about, you dumb fuck. It continued because this guy didn't know when to stop, and he was wrong all the way along. Monday counts towards opening weekend figures because it was a holiday. Take a lap and try again. No, it doesn't. You just looked up a chart that was probably from 2019 because you didn't want to really do any research. Don't worry, I helped your dumbass out and showed the real chart. I brought him evidence. I brought the receipts and showed him that he was lying, that he was full of shit, that he was so clearly idiotic. And in fact, the numbers bear that out. The opening weekend was exactly what I said it was for Shang-Chi, even though he continued to try to argue. This is the part where you stop typing. He shares a little bit of clearly what was a Wikipedia article about the weekend box office. He failed, however, to mention the rest of it, where it says, no, that's not how it's reported when it's stacked up against everything else. I'm educating you on how the box office is actually tracked and used to compare differences otherwise in the franchise, including evidence. You're searching out Wikipedia articles because you realize you shared a chart that didn't align with what you were trying to say. But of course, when you actually look at the context of that article and the way everything else is compared, indeed, I was right the entire time. Not surprising that Dylan Park was wrong. He seems to be wrong about virtually everything. But the main thing to take away is that we have a Marvel writer who is inciting violence, telling people to burn down a city because he has no idea what he's talking about in regards to the facts of this actual case. If you want to hear more about the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, go to my other channel, Patriot Outpost. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about Marvel once again proving that these are the types of people they want, the types of people that will drive customers away, the types of people who will insult you over and over again for your race, who will insult you for your perceived political point of view, even when someone has not said anything to that effect? People like Dylan Park are what's wrong with the comic book industry and the entertainment industry in general. He's an enormous sack of garbage. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.